Welcome back. My name's Cody. I am the author of Our Best Workflow Secrets. This is a real estate agent's guide to success, even in a changing market. And what I am doing in these videos is I'm dispelling all of the little tools, tactics, tips, and strategies in the book, and I'm giving them to you in little bite-sized pieces that you can take and apply direct action in your business using them. So if you have not, please go to Amazon, pick up a copy, Our Best Workflow Secrets, a real estate agent's guide to success, even in a changing market. Go ahead and follow along with me and let's dive into it. So this is the last piece of our section 1 within the book, but it is a very important piece, so I want to take a little bit of time and talk to it. So what we are going to be talking about today is a framework that we have named MAP. And it's a really simple framework. I think you're going to appreciate it. Maybe it'll stick in your head. It's stuck in mine. It's MAP. Make a plan. So how does this apply to our real estate business? Well, as we are starting to work through all of the different things that we've covered, from understanding our why to understanding who we are called to serve and how we're called to serve them. Once we have all of those things in our mind and written down and we're starting to move in action to take them, we need to know some really important things. And that is where we are, where are we going, and how are we going to get there? So you guys might remember the paper maps that were always in a glove compartment, and you would open them up and they would take over the entire windscreen, and then you would try and fold it and it would never quite fold, and so you kind of end up shoving it into your glove compartment. Well, those maps served a really important purpose. They showed us where we were on our way to a destination. And it's no different with this map. We just need to do a couple of things to understand that. So very first, we need to know where we are. If we know where we are right now, we are going to be able to take action on that. So what does that mean? Well, in knowing where you are, I need you to understand where you are physically, where you are in your business, where you are in your relationships with your friends and your family, maybe your children, in all of the different pieces. Are you showing up for yourself? Are you able to work and also hold an activity? Are you in a life that is filled with passion? I need you to understand very intimately where you are in life, because if you do not know where you are, it's going to be really hard to understand where you're going. And in a lot of ways, this is probably the most fundamental piece. So I would encourage you, go ahead. We're going to spend some time and think about, maybe write down in some really long form way where we are. This is in our relationships, with our finances, in our ability to show up in our business, in our ability to show up for our friends and our family and for ourselves. If we understand all of these different pieces, we are going to be setting ourselves up for success. Now, I was in the Boy Scouts when I was growing up. I'm an Eagle Scout, and I also worked as a scuba instructor when I was a little bit younger. And so I taught a lot of orientation classes, a lot of navigation classes, and we would use compasses in these classes. So when I have a compass, I have this object, and I'm sure you know what a compass looks like, but I take this compass and I understand where I'm at, and then I line up these two little bars that are called lubber lines. And these lubber lines are going to be what points towards the direction that I'm going. And once I know the direction that I'm going, I just start to turn myself until the head of the compass lines up in the lubber lines, the two bars, and there's an arrow, and I want to kind of dock it like a boat would dock into a harbor. That was the scuba instructor in me. And from there, I know which direction I'm going. So how this applies to our MAP framework is, once we know where we are, then we can start to understand, where do you want to go? Now, in this, I want you to take the opportunity and dream. I want you to think about, where would I be in life if everything was working for me? If I was the expert, if I had all of the dream customers coming into me, if I understood my why and I was finding so much joy in the work that I got to do, if I was able to show up for myself and my family and my friends in just the most magical way. Where is that for you? Is it your ability to show up and you having a certain number in the bank? Is it your ability to go on vacations and hang out with your friends and family on the weekends and weekdays and have evenings and go for brunches and things like that? Whatever your own version of success, which I like to say often in this book, is, I want you to know what that is. And I want you to dream in a 2-decade range. So we're thinking really far out there because it's important for you to understand, where am I going? Now, once I know where I'm at and where I'm going, it then becomes really easy to distill down all of the different steps that I need to take to get there from point A to point B. Now, I like to say this often, it is all about taking that 1% daily action. The reason I say this is because if I show up today, and I show up tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and all I need to do is 1%. It takes a lot of pressure off of you to have to show up in these large strides. We're looking for consistency over just like taking large strides. The example I give for this is, I would rather run a 9-minute mile than try to sprint a 4-minute mile, get tired at a half a mile, have to walk half a mile, and end up with a 17-minute mile. So consistency compounded over a large amount of time with less effort can sometimes take us further. So that's where that 1% daily growth comes into play. Now, if you think about it, there are 365 days in a year. 365% better than you are today sounds like a pretty good deal. And worst case, we fail half the time. That's still over 180% better than you are today by the end of the year. And that sounds incredible to me. So that's where this idea of 1% daily action comes into play. So when we are trying to find how we're going to get from here, where we are right now, to where we are going, we can start to sit back and we can look at, what steps do I need to take at the 3-month mark, at the 6-month, at the 1 year, at the 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, 10-year, 14-year, 17-year, 20 years from now to reach this ultimate life. Now, as we start to move in to this flow, as we start to reach towards those goals and we understand, okay, for me to get to my ultimate goal, I need to have 3 closings this month. And if I need to have 3 closings this month, that means I need to have 4 signed contracts. And to have 4 signed contracts, I need to have 7 open houses. And to have 7 open houses, I need to have 36 new leads. Only 36, that's awesome. Now I just need to figure out how to get those 36 leads. And if I get those 36 leads, everything else will start to fall into place. That is the power of knowing where we're at, knowing where we're going, and figuring out how we're gonna get there. So as we move through chapters, or as we move through the first part of the book, this is gonna be what we are gonna finish with. So your homework for today is understanding where you are. And I want you to spend some time, really gut check yourself on this. Where am I in all aspects of my life? Write it down. Get personal with it. Get uncomfortable. Allow it to envelop an entire page and really understand where you're at. And then start to dream. Start to figure out, where am I going? What does this look like? What does my most fulfilled life look like? Once you have that, all you have to do is start connecting the dots. Start thinking your way back from there to here. Once you do that, boom, now you have a direction that you can start to run and your rubber lines are set. So that's your homework for today. If you feel so emboldened, I would love to know where you are today. Where are you going? Go ahead and throw that in the comments. And let's start working on how we can get there. But guys, that is section 1. I will probably have one more video where we kind of do a high overview of all of the different things that we've covered in this chapter, in this section, excuse me. And then we'll move from there. But you guys have some homework, and I will see you in the next video.